Okay, this is a good one. Law of karma. People want to know about karma. Karma is an interesting subject, isn't it? Because it's like, on one level, this whole human show runs based on the law of karma. The situations that we're in, the people we meet, everything, our trials and tribulations, everything has to do with the law of karma. There's a guy over here scoping me. He's like, doesn't know what I'm doing. That's karma, you see. Somehow, maybe we met in a previous life. He recognizes something, Maybe he used to make videos or couldn't make videos in a previous life because I don't think they had cameras. But maybe he, who knows? He's scoping me though. But that's karma. So karma is for the human body mind. It's not for, you can say, our true self. Our true self, pure consciousness, it doesn't have a form. So how is it going to have karma? Karma, for every action, reaction, there's some effect, okay, to make it simple. So how do we transcend it? Because that's what we want to do. Because some people worry. They're like, whoa, what if I got some karma coming? Maybe I'm going to die some horrible death or something. Maybe that's my karma. Or maybe the mind gets in there. Maybe my destiny, I really want to have a relationship, a romantic relationship. Maybe it's my karma, though, that I'm either not going to have one or I'm going to have a bad one or something. Okay. So don't think about that stuff. I know you can't help it, but I'm just saying, like, let the show run itself. Whatever situation or challenge we're going to find ourselves in, I made a video about, like, we're always being taken care of. God created the law of karma, but also gives us the power to deal with this karma. Those that have had any kind of chronic health situations, there's sometimes you're just like, I don't know how I'm going to go another second. Like, what am I going to do? This is intense. But you made it through it. I can relate to that. Okay? So, transcending karma on a more proactive level, obviously, when we do a sadhana or spiritual practice or a meditation, or when we just simply check in with ourselves as often as you can and feel this presence, feel this consciousness that is always present and that this body-mind is housed in, when you check into that, that's your meditation. That's a sadhana. You don't have to do a formal sit down every morning and evening, although you can if you want. I do. I mean, I do it more now that I'm at the beach because I like the climate. It's nice not to wake up in the morning cold. Okay, so I wake up in the morning, I naturally just flow into a yoga meditation, get quiet, get centered and stable for the day. Like, it's not something I'm trying to do. Okay, but what's the point? When we do a spiritual practice, when this body mind gets more absorbed into its creator, its source, which is consciousness, the law of karma, it's not as heavy because the identity with the body-mind isn't so strong. If the identity with the body-mind's not so strong, automatically either your karma is going to be stepped down or it's going to dissolve. You remember a story, the autobiography of a yogi? There was a guy sitting with Babaji, and Babaji, all of a sudden, he grabbed this hot, stick that was in the fire and hit the guy's shoulder with it, burned him. He's like, yeah, well, what are you doing, man? See, Kamsat probably would have threw down, but Babaji, he could have handled that. Anyway, this guy didn't understand, but something intuitively must have understood, because if you trust somebody and they do something, there's a reason for it. So Babaji explained, he said, look, basically I stepped your karma down. God stepped it down. Babaji was just an instrument, you see. There was an openness, a flow. Babaji was, his body-mind was more fused with the spirit, so spirit can work through him. It's not like Babaji made a mental decision, said, I really like this disciple, I'm going to take his karma. No, the show, the play was that. And so he told him, he said, if I hadn't have done that, you were going to die like a really gruesome death. And so I stepped this down for you. That's what happens when you're in sadhana or you're in a spiritual practice. This guy, this disciple, obviously, if he was in the presence of Babaji, this guy had a spiritual practice. So your spiritual practice, your constant willingness and openness to realize your true formless self, that's going to step down the law of karma or dissolve it. Depends on the heaviness of the karma. I mean, we can talk about karma for Jesus. Can make a 24-hour video and not even touch on it. I mean, that's a whole nother subject in itself. But people were asking about it, and it's a different topic. I haven't made this video, so I wanted to touch on it a little bit. What creates karma? I see 3 ways. Number 1, either in a previous life. See, one lifetime, you can't expiate all your karma. Some of it carries over. There's just not enough time, 60, 70, 80 years. So some of this carries over to the next life. And then it gives you an opportunity to expiate that karma. But if your identity with body-mind is still strong, then you're going to keep creating more karma. Whether it be good karma or bad karma, it's still karma, and it's still temporary. Even these heavenly states. If you do a bunch of good karma, you might go to a heavenly state, but it's going to end at some point, you see? Because that karma is going to finish, the expression of that karma is going to finish, and you're going to need to go create some more. That's why self-realization, that's the best. Because even if you're in a heavenly state, there's awareness that, whoa, I'm really enjoying a heavenly state. The true self goes beyond any state. It's just pure awareness. And it's here right now. You can discover it. You can see. You can just feel. It's not a mystical thing. You just feel, whoa, there's something present and conscious here in which this speaking's happening, the listening if you're listening to me, the listening's happening in the state of consciousness that you are. Realization of that frees you from karma. But the show goes on. Because we're always going to retain some kind of individual sense of a self so that we can experience. Life's creative. God's creative. He wants to create. But when you know who you are beyond this body-mind level, you don't mind the law of karma. And you don't really create much karma because the identity's not there. Identity is what creates karma. I did this. I did a good deed. This person's drowning in the ocean and I went and saved him. So now maybe, I don't know what the fruits of that would be, but something I would enjoy that karma. I would feel though the identity with that I did something. Or a nice girl's walking by, innocent girl, and I throw this stick at her. See, that's bad karma. So then maybe I'll get jumped or something by some MMA guys. And then I'll have to suffer that karma. So it's identity. Everything's identity. That's what creates the karma. Anyway, I was going to share what 3 things, the main 3 things simplified of how karma expresses. So that's the first, cause and effect. I do good, I get karma. I do bad, I get karma. Everything's karma. And the body mind is what tastes and experiences this karma. Consciousness itself, it can't do that. So law of cause and effect, that can create karma. Another thing, now when we're in a higher state, a higher plane, before we incarnate into this gross level called planet Earth, there can be some higher choice to be made to concentrate all this karma that we've been accumulating for who knows how long. Something feels, you know what, I don't want to spread this karma out for another 10 lifetimes or however long. I want to concentrate it. I want to soldier up, and I might have a hard life, but I can do it. See, we forget how it is when we actually come here. When we're on a higher plane, it's like, man, I got this, man. Your friends will be telling you, like, bro, do you remember like how it is here? Like you can't remember anything, and you're just gonna think life hates you. No, man, I'm realized. I got this. All right. See you in another 100 years. And when you're back up here again, we can discuss it. So some lives can be really intense because you pack all this karma in just one short life. A third thing that can create karma, some higher decision gets, see, everybody likes this one. The ego likes this one. And to make it more complicated, it can be a mixture of all three. See, we don't know. Third thing, we can choose, a higher self can choose to take on some karma so that it can be of service to others and help them in a certain situation or issue, some hard like how is it to, people that have certain health issues or something, certain mental problems or physical chronic pain or something. Maybe, I'm just giving an example, like, okay, for illustrative purposes. Like, we don't know. This stuff's so complex and convoluted, like, we don't know. But one could say, you know what, I want to do some benevolent service, some karma yoga. I want to help this certain group of people. But in order to do that, I need to taste what they're experiencing. Otherwise, I don't really have any, they're going to sense I don't have any power, any experience with what they're dealing with. So, I can't just say, nothing exists, non-dual, just know that you're not the body. Like, it doesn't work. I've seen really respected gurus and masters that when somebody comes up there with certain, like, neurological dysfunction or really strong bodily pain, they can't really help them. I can see, like, they don't have the experience. They just keep pointing to, like, okay, realize the witness, and the witness isn't affected, but the people leave and they come down from the podium and you can just see in their eyes they're not really benefited. So maybe you choose to go experience that, because there's nothing like experience. Experience gives a certain vibration, a transmission that's just soothing and helpful, because you know that this person who's talking, they've been there. That kind of empathy and compassion that comes when you've experienced it firsthand, that's medicinal. It's not enough, though. If that being also has transcended it, oh man, you lucked out. You find that. Good luck. I never found it. I had to be the pioneer. So if you choose those experiences so that you can then have the actual experience, then you can help this group of people that for whatever reason you wanted to do before you come here. You took on that mission, that act of service. So those are the three things. So you do your spiritual practice, you realize that the karma is for the body-mind level, it's not for your true self. And you keep just realizing this presence, this consciousness, that's here. That helps to burn whatever karma's there, or at least, it steps it down. That's how you be free of karma, all right? So let me know. What do you think your karma is? All right.